Hi guys, welcome to the Petential podcast from Thought to Execution. We've got another special here today, and we've got Peter, obviously, and
Helen Richardson.
here we go. How's it going?
It's great, thanks. It's great to be here.
And what do you do? Tell me about you.
I'm an artist
Mhm.
and a student. I'm trained to do graphic design, and a mum and a wife and everything else.
Excellent, that's good. So with your work, with your artwork, that's an expression of self, and I think today we're going to be talking about expression and how that can help you if you're struggling at all. So with you, when it comes to doing your art and stuff, where did it begin? Was it a natural formation yourself? Is it you like being creative, don't you? So
Absolutely. As a toddler, I started drawing. I've always drawn. I've always loved it. It's always been an important part of my life.
Yeah.
And I think you get to a certain age that you just suddenly don't think that it's important to do anymore. It might not be profitable. It might not be something that's worth going towards. And you let go of it. And I was lucky enough to get back into it.
Right, yeah, I'm with you.
Through working through primary school, actually. I did admin, and they had me doing craft all the time with the kids, and suddenly I realised that
This is something.
this is important to me. Why have I let it go?
Yeah, that's great. So that's saying people's approach to you and stuff, things they've said has made you forget something you love to do. So how did it feel getting back into it and, you know, expressing yourself and getting artwork done again? What was it like?
I'm amazing.
Right.
I've always done things in the background, but now I feel like it can be part of who I want to be. Everyone has that image in the head of who they want to become.
Yeah.
And some of them are unrealistic, you know. But what is unrealistic? If you try really hard and want to achieve something, then why shouldn't you achieve it? Why shouldn't you push yourself towards it?
Definitely, that's what I'm all about, obviously.
Yeah, you can learn anything.
I set my goals, work really hard on what I want to do and helping people, stuff like that. I believe I can achieve it. Again, that is an expression of self. It helps me deal with my issues, talking to people about theirs and helping others. You see another side of things outside yourself. So with you, with your expression, what do you, is there anything you feel before an art piece? Is there anything that triggers you to do one, or is it just simply day to day? I feel like doing this today, I'm going to work on this.
A good mixture, actually.
Excellent.
Some things I do, it's almost as if it is therapy. Certain things I draw and I don't even think about doing. I just roll with it, and it feels good to me. I can stop thinking about my other worries, my other things that are going on. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and be like, hey, I really need to paint this. I really need to do this. I've just got an idea in my head. Sometimes I start an art piece, and as I'm doing it, I like an element of it that I then work into and do something completely different.
Right. Okay. So what would it be? Maybe would you say when you're doing that, would it be a transformation of mood, or would it be a focus where you started off a bit? Yeah, I really want to do this, and then you focus on something even deeper. Is it a bit of that?
Yeah, maybe. If I see something that I like a style of. So recently I've been working on a really big piece, and it's the lily pond. Yeah, and as I've started into it, it was going to be a completely different piece that matched something else I've worked on in the past. I was going to do I've done a sun piece, and I was going to do a moon piece that's the same size and would look nice as a pairing. And as I'm doing the background, I liked the way that the primer had gone onto the canvas, and and as I painted into it, I liked the style of it, and I felt that it was a lot more water based, and I just went with it and kept moving with it. And
right. So it wasn't just that you was expressing yourself; it was the fact that when you was in it, when you got in that zone, you got carefree. It actually became a part of you as well. It was. Yeah. You didn't have to think. You was in the flow, so to speak.
It's as if it's already painted there and I'm just making it happen.
Yeah, I feel like, obviously I've done singing, martial arts is a bit like that. See that with people who get really into the craft, it's usually something where they start off just trying to express the feelings or get away from something, or, you know, put the emotions onto paper as you do probably, or you creative, and then it starts to take over them in a zone kind of way where that's art to me, you know what I mean, where you're not thinking anymore, you're not focused on anything, it's not got an ideal, it's just like an activity, so it's just creation.
Yeah, it's a metaphor for life, really, isn't it? You can have all the plans you want, you can have something set out, and that's exactly what it's going to be like, and that's how you're going to live your life. But in the end of the day, if you're being taken a different way, and it's more natural and it's more comfortable to go that way, then that's okay. That can be great, yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great thing to say. That's great lesson for people out there, you know, struggling, or you find there's something you've always wanted to do and you get a hitch in the road where you think, should I go left or right here? This is something I've worked so hard on. Should I give up on it? Or should I try something new? Sometimes it is more valuable to try something new, you know what I mean? This is what this came from. Obviously, I was in a band for a long time and I needed to try something new. That's where this podcast came from, you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Excellent. So with your work and stuff like that, your goal, talk to me about your goals, how about your fear, you know, before you've created a piece of work, you've put all yourself into it. How do you feel when it comes to showing it off? Because I know as a singer or as a podcaster, I'll always get nervous when someone says, oh, what do you do? And I say, and they go, can I see it? And I'm like, yeah.
It can be really hard, and especially if something's in like progress. And there's a lot of things I've done and I've got to a certain point and it gets tedious and I'm hating it, and I might have spent weeks doing something.
Right.
And that can be really like you're damaging yourself, you're hurting yourself. But then sometimes it's nice to just go over it and start something new and accept that everything doesn't always work and everything's a learning experience. It's good in that way. When I come to showing people, I've got to be 100% happy.
Right.
If I leave it for a while, so I'm not sick of looking at it anymore, then
yeah, of course, yeah.
Then I usually feel better about it. So I've got a room and I just put all of my canvases in there.
Yeah.
Or old sketchbooks, and I'll go through and suddenly I'll be like, actually, yeah, I'm really happy with that now that I'm not involved emotionally in the piece.
Right, yeah. So it's sort of looking back in from an outside view almost. Definitely. And saying, once you've taken action on the piece of art and you've created it, taking the step away and then coming back and saying, this is what I've done, but seeing it from an outside perspective, it is a good piece of art. It's a good piece of, you know, whatever that may be, music, you know, fitness, whatever.
Yeah, and, you know, my husband's a writer.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to write plays, and he'd find that people always associated the characters with people he knew, which he said wasn't always necessarily the case. And I think it's the same in art. You've got to separate yourself from it emotionally for a period of time. So if I'm drawing as some kind of therapy for myself, then whatever I'm creating is going to have that emotional burden on it. And if people see that, I worry that they'll associate that. They'll think that looks really sad.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it's not always the case, obviously. I think it's hard to, obviously, like working literary is different. If you're writing plays and things like that, then people take it more literally. And the same with music as with art. But
yeah, they definitely do with music. I've seen that.
Yeah, they'll say, oh, who does this person mean to you in this song? Or, you know, what did you mean by this? And sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes you're just letting the words flow. But
as we said, getting in that zone and just letting the expression. Because I did a song recently, a cover release and stuff. But with that, it's quite a sad song. But for me, it was like a song of growth and stuff. So when I was singing it, I was really enjoying it. I was, you know, loving the experience. And then I got some messages saying, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, you know, I'm fine. Like, oh, it's a sad song. I'm like, yeah, but I was just showing that this is another expression. It's not always this or that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's all right to be sad. And it's good to let it out as well. And the same with art. If you paint something that's really sad, sometimes you just need to release that emotion. Sometimes you just need to cry.
Right, okay.
And you've got to do it, because people telling you that you shouldn't have these negative emotions or you shouldn't feel this way isn't helpful, because it's natural and it's healthy.
Right, okay.
You know, unless you're crying all the time, it might not be
as healthy. It's not as healthy. Yeah. So do you want to go more into that? So it's a lot of people try and build the character around what everyone wants them to be like all the time. So with the expression, with being honest with yourself, you've said, and the crying side of things, how do you feel that is at the minute? Do you feel people should be more creative or more true to themselves in the work or in stuff they want to do?
Yeah, definitely. It's I feel like you have different personas in your life, and you go towards the one that you try to go towards the one that you want to be. But just letting yourself be who you need to be at that time is available through art, because you're being expressive and people aren't expressive.
I think that's it. Yeah, it's like putting everyone's putting themselves into their own little box, And when it comes to creating art or expressing themselves, I find a lot of people are so scared of the judgment they won't do anything. They'll not, like, I'm not one. I wouldn't say I'm great at drawing and such, but I do draw. I do enjoy it. So draw pictures, keep them in a notebook. I'm like,
so many people say that though. I'm not good at art. I'm not good at drawing, and you don't get that from a young age. That's something that's taught to you, and it's nice seeing my children just being creative and being proud of what they've done.
Yes, yeah.
And I really try to nourish that, and I want them to grow up with that confidence, because that's when you're learning things at that age. You're learning, you know, if they pick up an instrument now, then they're much more likely to keep on with it. Things like that, to be creative and to lose that self-doubt and
that is a lot of it, yeah.
Of adulthood.
That's it. I went to a flotation tank recently. Basically, sensory deprivation tank. You go in, you know, thoughts come in. You sort of refresh in a way when you come out. And one of the thoughts that came to me is, we've really forgotten how to play. Because as kids, what comes to mind, you just say it, or you just do it in an unfiltered way. And obviously you have to filter certain things, just so you don't hurt anyone in certain ways. But again, you forget to filter. You started filtering that silliness in a way, or what you really want to, let's do this, let's do that, you know. I mean, yeah, obviously it's good to see, but a lot of people do they want to be what they're told to be, rather than, and they feel a bit empty inside. Maybe that's because they're not creative, you know what I mean. There's
loads of different these hats we put on of who we want to, or who we feel like we should be. So when I became a mum, you know, I was really proud and happy. And I was quite young, but it was planned, so I was in control. Everything was good. And suddenly I started dressing a certain way.
All right.
I started wearing beige, you know. I started acting a certain way because I put on like the mum hat. You need to be this person. You know, I wanted to be seen as someone who's responsible, and then obviously I'm responsible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, but it changed who I thought I should be, and it really brought me down. And after quite a while, and I realised what was happening, that I'd completely lost my identity, that I was doing things for other people all the time. You know, I was going to work in office gear, and I was coming home and being a mum, and being a wife, and being all the things that you're supposed to, that you feel like. And it's a really crazy stereotype that isn't relevant nowadays. That whole
you
know, and one day I was just like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this anymore.
Excellent. Yeah.
I'm gonna get on my rainbow gear.
Well, that's today I'm wearing quite a snazzy different shirt. These are the kind of things I've seen online, and I'm like, I like that style. And a lot of people are like, why would you? And I don't care. And it's sort of be true, wear what you want to wear, and you know, act how you want to act in a way. But when you were saying then, it was that you lost who you was. I talked a bit about this in one of my books, stagnation. Like you become stagnant in work, and you don't express yourself. You don't become who you are. You're not true to yourself. That's very dangerous, because that's when you start on the slope of being too comfortable, and everything's the same every day, and you're living a pretty grey life.
Yeah. So
what would you say to someone who used to be creative, or they used to do something they loved, and they've put themselves in this blockade of, I don't, you know, where you was saying, you know, I feel like I'm this person now, I have to be this person. How would you get them to start being creative again? What would you say?
I'd say there's so many different types of creativity.
Yes. Yeah.
For a start, there's, you know, people say, oh, I'm not good at drawing or painting or whatever, but I make jewellery.
Yeah.
And I crochet.
Excellent.
And, and there's, you know, my husband plays guitar and piano, which is great, and writes. There's loads of different ways of expressing yourself. Dance, you know, it's exactly you can express yourself and be who you want to be just through your clothes. I'd say, you know, we've just said about your shirt. It's a statement to people who don't know you.
Okay, yeah.
And I feel like everyone should be proud of who they want to be.
I like it.
I love it when you see 70-year-old ladies with bright purple hair. Just makes me happy, because I think, you know what? Why should we fit this stereotype that's so dull? If it's not making you happy, if the people around you are judging you against that, then they're not the kind of people you want to be around you.
Exactly.
You want supportive people with good energy to affect yours and to make you happy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm really behind that. That's really good advice for people. And especially to start being creative as well, that the fear of, oh, what if it's not good work? What if it doesn't work? What if I'm not good enough? Just do it.
Yeah.
It's just get on with it. If you feel like you want to express that way, I had a temperament because I couldn't express myself really. So I did it through music. I was in a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
I did it through martial arts. And that does discipline you, and it expresses me at the same time. And that's gone now, that sort of side of me, which is so agitated. So is there anything you've felt it really helped you with? So maybe a freedom that you feel when you're doing your art, or maybe...
Yeah, definitely. I love that I'm just expressing myself, that I can see what I've done.
Right, yeah.
I'm creating things, and that people associate me as an artist.
Definitely.
Because you find that in different parts of your life, you're named and you're grouped.
But yeah.
And it's nice to be grouped in something that you're really happy with.
Right.
So if people say, Helen's an artist, then I'm thrilled.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
great.
Yeah, because then you're doing what you love, which a lot of people said do. Even like Steve Jobs and some of the people, Elon Musk, do stuff that you love, but that you can work hard in. I think that's how you pay off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember my mum saying that she found it really hard when she was working from home, and she was always Helen's mum, or my sister's mum, or Phil's wife. She was always this.
Branded.
She didn't have a name. She didn't have an identity or a person that she was in her own right. And I think it's really important, just getting out and doing something you enjoy doing, and being really confident in who you are, which is easier said than done. I have anxiety issues, and I find that sometimes I've got to fake it to believe it myself, and then I'm really happy with it, and you keep going. That's
the perfect thing to say, especially on this podcast. We get a lot of people obviously with anxiety issues who are afraid to express themselves like that, and it is a lot of the time it is change your state in your mind first, fake it, even if it's not who you are, fake it, and then your brain will automatically begin to play that in your head that you are that person, and you can deal with that situation, you feel less anxious. And even if you feel the fear, I feel fear quite strongly. I put on a post recently like that, but it's the support I get and the responsiveness I get is what makes me thrive. And people are like, oh, you're so confident. I'm like, oh really? I'm screaming inside, I'm terrified. But it's sort of a good way of just, you don't have to feel confident to be confident.
Yeah, I get that all the time. People say, oh, but I think you're a really confident person, and I'm thinking, I'm really not. I get stomach problems,
right?
And sickness and all of the health issues related to anxiety. And the doctors will try to, it's not their fault, they try to give you different things, so medication for IBS and things like that. But in the end of the day, you need to address
your
the
mind,
situation.
Sort of. You state what you're thinking about, how you focus on. Definitely.
I'm doing, CBT.
Oh, CBD oil. Excellent.
No, CBT. Cognitive behavioural therapy.
Right.
It's, you basically refer yourself and then speak to someone in the council. I know that's how it is in Wigan. I don't know how it is anywhere else.
Right, okay.
For mild to moderate anxiety and depression.
Excellent.
And they've got a number of courses that you can go through, and the one I'm doing at the moment, you're just looking through spreadsheets and you do questionnaires and things like that, and you speak to a therapist occasionally, and they'll track your progress and give you advice and things like that. And recently I did a questionnaire, and it was talking about the way you think and how that's affecting your mood. And it said I'm quite
massive on that.
Yeah, it said I'm a negative thinker, and I'm thinking,
how dare you?
I'm a really positive person, but I put a negative spin on it. I know we discussed before that I'll suddenly, if somebody says to me, that's a really nice painting, I'll think in my head, they're just trying to be nice to you because they want you to be happy.
Yeah, I felt that, yeah.
Or they're, or if someone smiles at you, then you're just like, oh, they're a nice person. You never put it down to yourself, or that you've deserved anything, or that you're good at anything. You just pass it off, and not in a really negative way, but in a mildly negative way enough to lose your confidence.
I've had that. I've come off stage, people have come up to me and said, oh yeah, really great show, and I'm like, yeah, you're just saying that to be nice, but then really at the face of it, we put a lot of work in, a lot of time in, it probably was a really good, entertaining show for them, and they was just being honest.
Yeah.
What I found with myself recently is a weird way. I've started to slow down when I talk or when I'm interacting, you know, more naturally. And if something doesn't feel right the way I'm saying it or what I'm doing, I'll stop and I'll think and I'll laugh and I'll say, this is what I'm actually thinking, but I'm saying different things to you. Yeah. And it throws people off really bad, but maybe that's a good way of dealing with, you know, them thought issues you have. So you could say, someone say, oh yeah, that's really good work. And you say, well, I know you think that, but I feel this about the work. I appreciate you do you actually like it? Because I'm being honest with you, what do you like about it? And maybe if they give you some more details, what they like about it or what it means to them, that might give you the more confidence then. You know, the honesty. Maybe. Yeah, the truth behind it sort of might help you even more. I've asked you to do a piece for me for my wall at home, so I can't wait for that. As I said, I've been doing one or two more things, and it needs a bit of colour in my life. Do you think you'd be able to, the way I've sent it you as a request is, I want you to do something quite colourful, quite, you know, maybe spiritual, but I want it to be your expression on, you know, what I said, self-confidence and stuff like that. Do you think as an artist it's possible to do stuff that people send you, like requests like that? Yeah,
as long as you're not copying other work.
Oh, of course not.
I think if people send you a picture and say, I want something like this, it can be really difficult if it's not within your own. You know what my style is.
Yes.
And what my capabilities
are. As you can
see, so yeah, it's like the piece with the big flower. It's really that is my style. That is what I do. I do a lot of intricate details, which I find really therapeutic and take my mind off life. And I might do a bigger piece because, you know, doing a piece this big with so much detail can be really difficult. And I've done it in the past, but it's taken me months.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I could do certain things within a certain bracket.
Yeah, of course.
But
no, that's good. That's really good. So with that, I'm excited to see it when you finally finished and stuff. You say you struggle with doing it just because there's a cost-effective side of it all the time you put in the effort. It's a nightmare for you.
Such a loss.
I mean, would you feel more okay with it if you did it as you know, multiple prints and stuff like that? I know it's not the original work. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm looking into it, and in I think it's November in the Old Courts they've got a makers market.
Right. Okay.
Hopefully
you'll get.
I should have some prints done, but they're quite expensive to get professionally done as well. So either way, you know.
I'm sure you'll find a way, but that's good. Yeah. We'll see you there. We'll see you there. But more of that, of the people who I'm trying to think of people who are either anxious, like you just said, like yourself, or stuck in that I've not expressed myself in so long, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm just job. I don't know who I am. I'm dad. I'm, you know, mum. What would you say is a good starting point from where they are, and just say, look, this is.
I think there's loads of groups on at different creative places. So there's one in Wigan. What's it called? There's one in town at the moment.
Okay.
And you can go in as different craft workshops.
All right.
And it's STEAM.
Right.
It's called STEAM, and they've got loads of different things on. And if you weren't comfortable with that, then Pinterest is always a great starting place for finding DIY projects. Painting a wall. I love painting houses, you know, just painting a wall or something, just getting out there and making your mark on something can be really nice. But I've found recently when I'm frustrated with high detail work, I've gone into abstract things that are just, you know, just palette knife painting, just really good to get my stuff down there. And I've never studied art really. I've you know, I've been studying graphic design recently. Yeah. But I never did art at school because I didn't think it was a sensible way forward. I was encouraged to think that you're not going to get a job, so what's the point in doing it?
So this is something I do the Petential stuff after my day job. This is what I said to people: is if you're doing a job so many hours a week, why wouldn't you come home and do something you love? Yeah. And a lot of people don't, which you obviously have worked really hard on, and you've obviously got kids, and people always say, I've got this, I've got that, I've got this. How would you say it, like, it affects people so quickly when you actually start doing something you love, doesn't it? It changes your whole week when you just say, that hour I'll get to do this or that.
I find hours just go away.
Yeah.
I don't even intend for it to happen. I think I'm going to spend an hour painting, and it just goes in. How many people spend those hours watching television? It's something that's probably damaging to your self-worth and your ultimate happiness, really. If you did something that was creative and just sitting down and practicing drawing or painting or just going for a walk. Reading. There's so many better ways to use your time.
This is what I'm saying. So a lot of people obviously watch TV. We talked about that last time on this podcast. What I noticed the other day, I'm very strict with myself. I don't watch TV. Don't play games and stuff. Not just because I'm not. I rage quit really hard. But I didn't track how long I was on my phone for every day, the social media side. And I realised the other day I was on it. I just thought about it. I thought, I don't get angry at myself for this when I'm as strict with TV and whatnot. I think, from that, people at home, if you're, really interested, take just a note of how long you spend in front of the TV, how long you spend on the phone, how long you spend scrolling through social media that you're not really interested in, and then take an hour out of that and say, right, I'll do this week. I'll try this. And just see how you feel, you know what I mean? As I say, we could get someone who comes up with a really good idea, really good artistry, they can come on the podcast and talk about that. Say, oh yeah, I started this, I started that.
Yeah, some people get these colouring books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just nice. One of my sisters likes to do colour by numbers.
All right.
She's a good artist. Sometimes you need to do something that doesn't require that much thought, but is creative. So.
No, definitely. So tell me more about you with long-term plans with your work. I know you want to do the artistry full-time. Obviously, I'm not saying... well, as I say, dreams, I'm really big on making your dreams come true and stuff. And dreams keep you going forward when things get hard. That's why I tell people it's not silly to have a big dream. You've got to have one and you can achieve it. So what's your dream?
Well, I'm doing my degree at the moment in graphic design.
Excellent.
Which I've gone back into education at a later stage.
Oh, yeah.
So that I could just do something that was creative every day as a job. Just thinking that would be amazing as a start. If I got a job doing pattern design for fabrics or illustration, then that would be really cool. If I got noticed or if I managed to get some of my pieces sold in the meantime, then
excellent, yeah.
Whenever. Then I'd love to become a full-time painter.
Yes.
That would be amazing. But just making things makes me happy. So even if I just got a job as an illustrator within the next 5 years, I'd be delighted.
I think that's a major point. A lot of people will say, do what you love, and a lot same excuse, don't make any money from it. But the way you've looked at it is objective. It's saying, well, I can still create, but it's in a different style. Some people like organising, tidy house, tidy this, tidy that. Going to filing, going to, this kind of work. Some people like physical, going to the gym, doing that. Maybe if you want to be a builder, maybe if you want to be something like that, fitness coach. You can still do what you love and earn a living.
Yeah. That's
reasonable before you have to do a big crazy leap of, the big goal sort of thing. This is my standpoint coming from, I do normal work and then come and work on this as well. But at the same time, I enjoy both. It's not, the work I do, regardless of whether it's the Petential stuff or my day job, none of it is outside of my character of who I am.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Definitely.
What would the next step be if someone's doesn't know if they're creative at all? No, I think everyone is. But they're just at home and they're like, I don't know what I like.
Some people just don't feel that they can create visual art.
Right.
So like I said before, there's other ways of everyone. Well, I say everyone loves music. I think everyone should love music.
Yeah.
So even just picking up something small, just trusting in yourself and knowing what you like, looking into the things that you like and finding a way. I know people that do gaming as like competitively and as a job. My nephew does it, and that's really good. If he's passionate about it, that's what he wants to do, and that's the way that he finds an outlet. If you're enjoying it and it's part of your everyday life, then go for it. Yeah,
there's a big thing what I found. There's Twitch streaming people do where people can watch you paint. I was telling you about that the other day, where you could literally start your artistry, set up camera, and people can watch you paint. You can go back and forward. I think they can pay to sponsor you or whatnot. That's really cool. So you can do what you love and get paid for it. And there's a meetup events, which is, I don't know whether it's meetup.com or something. I go to traders events and talk to different traders and stuff like that. And there is ways to connect with people. Main point is, you don't have to be perfect to start something.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the perfect singer to go and learn how to sing or to sing. You don't have to be the perfect artist if you start off. And as I said, I can't draw very well. I feel when I draw, it expresses what I'm trying to express.
Yeah.
And if someone sees it, they go, well, that doesn't look like that. And I'm like, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes to that kind of judgment, I say, oh, yeah, I'm not good. But really, I think, the way I express myself was fine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a skill set. It can be an expression.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, as I say, with your house, there's a lot of creativeness in there. There's the your artwork, obviously, as we've discussed. There's your husband, who is great at piano and guitar playing, and very inspirational and stuff like that. I've seen him with his with your kids, and talks about it in a way that you should be able to be proud of what you do. And what I noticed with him was, he did state, it doesn't come right away.
No.
It takes time, it takes effort. And we were talking before about you when you get involved in a piece. Sometimes, have you ever found it when you're in a piece of work and it gets hard and you still have to finish it, or you still have to keep going, and you just sort of, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But
absolutely. There's a few things that I've been working on for so long that I've just put away.
Okay.
And then gotten back to later.
Mm-hmm.
Or put away and then tried to get back into and just realised that it's died. And like I said, I painted over them.
Right, okay.
Fresh start. Good coating of primer. and completely restart it. It can be really difficult because you've emotionally invested in that. And if it's taken you weeks or months or whatever, and you've holding on to this belief that it's going to happen, sometimes it's just not going to happen.
Okay.
And it's really good for me at the moment. I've been doing that a lot with a lot of old work.
Okay, yeah.
Especially because, I'm a starving artist.
Yeah.
I don't have I don't have much of an income.
Yeah.
So I can't keep spending money on something if I'm creating pieces that aren't working.
Mm-hmm.
So getting a piece that I'm really unhappy with, that I was hoping I could change but have lost faith in, I'll just start again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice because I don't feel like I've wasted money. And
yeah.
You might consider it wasted time, but in the end of the day, I've learnt something from everything.
Yes, that's what I was going to get into. It's sort of, there's hardships in every skill you're trying to learn.
Yeah.
Everything you want to learn, you've got to, as I said, this is artistic, so it's a bit different, but there's, sales techniques, as, marketing, branding, whatever in business. And then there's martial arts, there's skill sets you have to learn in martial arts. I'm guessing there's brush skills you have to learn. As you said, priming the piece if you want to renew it. I'm sure there's skills you have to learn what could take time, could take effort. Even pieces you're working on, that's good. Don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
I've seen that with music so many times. We've had, with the old guys, we'd work so long on a piece and I'd just never be happy with it. And then we'd say, right, what's going on this album? And we scrap it. Even if we started off and we loved it, we then said, no, this song's just not it doesn't fit in with the rest. So you've got to push through when it gets hard, and sometimes you have to renew. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's always elements of something that you can pick out and that you can say you've learnt from.
Mm-hmm.
And who picks up a guitar the first time and is amazing?
Not me.
Well,
no one. It
goes back to the childlike thought process that, my eldest is learning to write and read at the moment.
Yes, really good.
And he's amazing. He's learning really fast, but he doesn't do something wrong and then feel bad about himself and throw it on the floor and say, I can't do this. And you get a lot of adults that are like that because you're worried about the judgment from other people saying, you're not good at this.
Mm-hmm.
When who is good first time round?
Exactly, yeah.
You've got to keep going. You've got to keep trying.
I think that's why you've got to love it. In a way, it's got to be something that is an expression.
Yeah.
Because if you love it and it's a part of you and you want to connect with it, then you don't give up on it. But if it's, you do, some people do give up on it even when they love it because they're scared. Now, what I noticed when he read me a book the other day, didn't he? Yeah. It was really good, and he come across a word he didn't know, and he tried. And I didn't correct him. and he'd just try and try and try, and it was really good to see. Because he, even I said before, I rage quit on games. I get to a point in the game, I'm like, right, this is waste time, and I'll leave. But it was really good to see that you've raised that kind of belief in himself, where it's okay to fall sometimes, it's okay to be wrong, to get to the end point. You know what I mean? Have you found with your work that seems to develop over time with yourself?
Yeah, definitely. And you've said about my husband, he's an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
But when we got together, he would never sing in front of anyone.
All right.
And when he was younger, he would only play in private.
Right.
And it was almost like it's not fair on everyone else that you're good at that, and that you've got talent that you should be sharing with the world. But he's had his own problems with depression, and he's been in like a really bad abusive relationship, and people bring you down and make you believe that you're not worth it and that you shouldn't be trying. And it's nice now that he's come through it and that he's got that confidence in himself, and that he will sing and he will play in front of people. And
I want to reiterate that point for anyone who just missed it, who's just listened to it in the background or anything. It's incredible what you just said. Is if you've got a gift and you work on it and it's really good, even if you don't think it's good, you're starving the rest of the world from your gift.
Definitely.
If you're not showing it. And what I thought I was going to get a lot of feedback negatively when I shared my work, which it was the opposite. Especially as I put myself out there, and a lot of people were saying with my book and stuff, it was a lot about my history, depression issues and stuff like that, drinking issues. Parents read it, friends read it, with my hardest moments. And I think it was really good because when I thought they're going to come at me, and people, all my close friends and family warned me, can't put this out, you can't say this, you can't do that. And I put it out, and I got a really positive feedback from it. And it's same with my singing. I always thought, everyone told me in private, you can't sing, you can't do this, you're not good enough. And then I'd bring out the song and it hits, really well.
Yeah.
And I think it is that. Maybe sometimes criticism's good. People saying, this isn't good, you're not good at this. I'd listen to it with an open mind. I'd say, okay, maybe I need to improve, but that doesn't mean I'm bad. It means where I currently am needs a bit of improvement.
Yeah, there's
and
constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I find that a lot with my design work, because it's not something I've done before, and because I don't feel that it's a skill I've got. I'm more of a traditional artist.
Yeah.
And it can be really difficult when I'm looking at a computer screen, and I understand how it works now when I'm trying to get where I want to be. But there's always a voice in my head saying, you're not really good at this. And my tutor picked up on it, and when I said, how can I make my work better for the future? And he said, you need to stop telling yourself you're a bad designer, because if you've done it before you've even started, then you're never going to achieve to the level that you want to achieve at. And because I'm a perfectionist with my, with work visually, I need it I need to be really happy with it.
Yeah.
And it just makes it worse that he said that makes a good designer. And, having the eye for it and having the creative mind is enough. But you've got to get over the point where you're telling yourself you're rubbish, because it's not helpful.
There's one, I listened to as you said, he was your coach with the art. I listened to my coaches today, and he said, you have to stop pretending like you knew. Yeah. And you have to take that on, that to be where you want to be, you have to sort of, as you said before, act like you can do it, like you are there. Once you start doing that, that's when things start happening for you, because at first you're acting, then you start to believe it, and then things start happening, and you'll be blown away that what you can think of, you can achieve. As I said, this is the Thought to Execution podcast. This is what this is all about. What you believe in yourself, what you can think of, what you can create, you can achieve, you can execute, and you can make happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on that? Anything to add? Or?
No, you're spot on. I want to be, in my mind of the person I want to be and what I want to achieve. I want to be an artist, a real artist. Yes. And not everyone, but a lot of people from a young age, I want to be a painter, beret and all,
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, good.
And it's me that's telling myself I'm not. Right. What is a real artist? Is it making money, or is it creating beautiful things that make people happy? And I said in an early discussion, Van Gogh never made a penny. And, he's...
Well, this is what I'm saying.
I mean, okay, he went bad, but,
Yeah, obviously that's issues. But one of my coaches people listen to and stuff, he says, he doesn't know how much Gandhi made, but he knows he changed the world.
Absolutely.
And it's good to have idols where you look at them, and as you say, Van Gogh, amazing, you know what I mean? If not the best of all time. And he didn't get any recognition from it, but it doesn't mean that you're bad.
Yeah.
It could just be before its time.
Absolutely.
So
I know that my work makes people happy because they tell me.
yes.
And it's hard because I'd like to make money out of it, but you know, I don't have money to spend on art, and I don't really expect other people to. I know there are people out there.
I will definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
But I think that's the thing. There is people like that who like to look at it as well. Mum's got a Lowry picture. She loves that work.
Yeah.
And you know, she's really interested in it, and she just stares at it all day over the fire instead of the TV. And I think that's really good to see. You know what I mean? It's nice to not only express yourself, but look at someone else's expression.
Yeah, I went to the Tate in Liverpool.
Right.
Tate Modern last week, and just for something to do, we had a day off. The children were all in nursery and school, and I said, let's go somewhere, let's go for a walk or do something. I said, I really want to be inspired.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
I've not been to a gallery in quite a while, so we went to the Tate, and it was really nice. They had some beautiful pieces, and it was just really good to get out and do something. So maybe that's advice. Actually, go out.
See what you want to become.
Yeah, well, be inspired by someone else's creation. If you don't feel like you can be creative, there are so many art styles that don't take that take more of a mental creative leap than a technical ability. Yeah, I'm with that. A lot of people have put down Picasso and said that his style is obviously different.
Yeah. Of course.
But when you look at what he created for that time period, from people coming out of painting things because that's how they were recorded as photographs, they bring out the camera, and that's not needed anymore. So it's someone coming in and saying, actually, I'm going to paint this person from 5 different angles.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And that's mind-blowing because it wasn't done before, and that's the skill, and that's the amazing part of it, that he had that mental. There's different ways to go with it.
What have you ever been? What was your biggest inspiration? Have you ever been blown away by a piece, like an inspiration, or have you ever worked on a piece yourself and it's took your own breath away?
I worked on a large sun piece recently.
Okay.
And it's the first biggest thing I've ever done. And it's just an oil painting with a bit of acrylic gold in the end.
It's an oil painting with acrylic. It's great, yeah. And
it's really simple. And most of my work has taken weeks minimum. And this took me a few days. And that's including drying time. It was just nice, and every time I look at it, it makes me really happy. And it's like part of my brain clicked that I don't have to spend weeks doing something for it to be any good. I don't have to look for everyone else's approval on something I've achieved. I can just look at something and be happy with it and accept that as something that's a success. Yeah.
That's it. I completely agree. Overcomplicating something just for the sake of overcomplicating it, there's no need. But when obviously your artwork is really good, we're showing here, but as you said, it doesn't always have to be so complex. I've seen from singers and from stuff, from speakers, a lot of every little thing they go over. You need to hit this. You need to do that. You need to do that. But when I did my speech, everyone in the room listened.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is out of respect, but at the same time, I had people coming up to me I never expected, saying things, that could really change the night, that really touched them. And I had no training.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not the complexity of the issue that makes it, or the piece, or whatever you're doing that makes it good, or beautiful, or, attractive. It's the fact that it was an expression.
It's the soul you've put into it.
Yeah.
Look at how many songs are only a few chords, but are really beautiful. A lot of Beatles songs. They're really beautiful. They're not really technically complex, but they're beautiful. And because they've got an emotion that's long-lasting, that's not just a trivial thought, they stick with you. And it's the same with anything. If you're really passionate about what you've done, it doesn't matter how complex or simple it is.
Yeah, I agree with that. with a lot of people, I find they're scared to be confident because they don't want to be seen as arrogant, especially with the work. They won't show it off because they want to be, oh no, it's not. Even though they really love it themselves, but they won't show it. They won't tell people. They won't express. What do you think's a good way to get over that, to get the self-confidence?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just
do it. Yes. Yes, I'm all about that.
Because I'm the same. I have been the same in the past. And I worry that people react to my confidence that they don't like me because I'm confident.
Yes, right, I'm with you.
Well, we said before, I don't feel like I am confident, but I feel like I need to be that person.
Yeah.
To convince myself to be happy. And it's the same. If you're confident, just show off your work, even if it's on social media. Then it can be really nice to get that feedback from. So even if someone says, I like this, but I don't like this.
Oh yeah, I've got that. Yeah, I've had that before.
And work into that, and that's great. I'd rather have that than nothing.
No, that's important, because what you're saying there is put your piece up, because you've expressed yourself, because you love it. Share it because you like it. You're not sharing it to get anything back. I think that's important. Obviously, it'd be great if someone did comment and stuff.
Yeah.
But you said share it because, just do it because you want to, because it's something you've worked on. A lot of people I see post things just to get the likes. Yeah. I've seen people post things and delete them because they got no likes.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's sort of, if it's an expression, if it's a piece, if it's a work, if it's you, if it's genuinely you, post it. Yeah. And if people like it, connect with them.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
What else would you say is a good way to connect your pieces? So you said before, you go into this art thing at the old carts. Sounds really good. Would you do anything like that yourself? Host an event for little new artists? Do you think there's a way you could get your art there, and then would that be something you'd do as well? Yeah,
I'm looking at another one in the winter. Can't remember exactly when it is.
Okay.
But it's an open art exhibition. So you pay to have you submit a few pieces and you pay an entrance fee, and it's just a really good way of starting. So I might have 3 pieces of art up, and if they really like it or they find it's really good feedback, then maybe they'll move into it from there. But yeah, there's absolutely. Yeah. It's a great way of getting into it, and it's a little risk to yourself, really.
Of course.
If people don't like it, they're probably not going to put it all over social media that they hate you.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. And you might get good feedback from other artists.
And if, it's okay if they don't like it, maybe it's the wrong crowd.
Definitely. Everyone's got their own tastes. There's some really amazing artists that I can look at the technical ability of and say, wow, that is amazing, but I would not have it in my house because it's a bit scary.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a great point though. It's it's all about yourself and what you'd like. And I was saying to you the other day, don't underappreciate your value of your art. So I was saying, because it's art, because it's an expression, you can set your own price, really.
Yeah.
You saying, oh, what if someone doesn't buy it? Well, then you're in the wrong market. It's not that your work's bad, because you see multi-million-pound pieces of a dot on a white piece of paper and you think, I don't understand it, but just because I don't understand it doesn't mean it's not artistic.
Yeah, it can be really hard for new artists, because I think having a name as an artist, having a
brand,
it is a big part of it. But a lot of these artists have gone to really good schools and have a really good knowledge of art history, and I'm not saying the work's not justified. You can get really good artists that are not at all trained.
Yeah,
the same with musicians or anything. You get a lot of untrained people who are really talented. So yeah, just go for it.
Exactly. Yeah,
just do it.
Just do it. No, I really like it. Just the expression. I think if you enjoy what you do and you're at a good level with it, I think you should pull someone else up.
Yeah.
To help them and say, look, you can do this too.
Absolutely. If I was a successful artist and had my own gallery.
When?
when
you have it. I do that, sorry, go on.
Then I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
But now is quite an exciting time for Wigan, because there's a lot of things going on. There's the Fire Within exhibition that Al and Al are doing in the galleries, and the courts are doing loads of really cool things, and Steam, and they're opening up the old museum. The Orwell.
Yeah.
And creating something there
Excellent.
I think you can see on the website what it is, but I'm not exactly sure. But
right.
that should be a good venue space as well. So I think for now in Wigan is a really good, exciting new time when things are just starting to
pick up. Yeah, pick up. That's really good. That's really good news for people like those who's doing that. Obviously, I know the music scene pretty much inside out. So I think what artists should do, whether it's or anyone who's expressing anything, crocheting, martial arts, whatever, you need to coach firstly for the technicalities. You need to learn little basics and stuff. Do this, do that. I've said jiu-jitsu and stuff. A lot of I learned from it was it's basics. Once you've got the fundamentals down, then you can build on them. So always get a coach, but I also think you need a good network of people. So if you want to become a branded artist, who does this, you use, celebrities work this or they promote your stuff. It doesn't have to be you knows all the market stuff. You don't have to be a salesperson. You don't have to know the market. Because there's people who want to do that. There's people whose passion or whose expression is selling because they're really good at, because they like it, inspiring people and stuff like that. And they like, connecting with people. Marketers are really good at, creating it, making it look this way. And editors, as we say, we've got producers and editors here. And they, they make it look really cool and, they flip between people. And I couldn't do that if I, my work wouldn't look anywhere near as good as that. So, as I said, the logo, I didn't create that myself. That's been created for me. And in and of itself, you don't have to be able to do everything. You just need a nice mastermind with you, a nice network of people who can get you to the level you want to be. Yeah,
because if you assume you know everything from the very beginning, then you're going to fail. Because people need help and people need a support network. And not just in being creative or succeeding in a business venture.
Yes.
Just in life, everyone needs a support network.
That's why I created this thing. It's here to be a platform for people to tell their stories, to tell their experiences and how they help themselves. So is there anything else you want to talk about on that with your art, with how it helps you cope, how it helps you express, how it helps you deal?
I do find that it helps give me an identity that I already have.
Yes,
it's reinforcing it. And it's something it's something just for me. It's not for anyone else other people can appreciate it. But in the end of the day, it's really self-indulgent. And I think people need to do something self-indulgent that's healthy. That's really good. Yeah, that's a really good thing to say. But carry on. I forgot what I was saying. You forgot, but just expressing yourself and how the art feels to you and your identity. Yeah, art therapy is a thing as well. There are a lot of people who use it, especially for people with mental health or or older people in care homes, things like that. It's really good to be creative and to do something that makes you happy. And if art's that thing, then that's it. Yeah, that's what you want to do. So does it help you deal with this idea of the identity? I've not heard it much recently. That's what I mean. People don't talk about who they are, their identity, who they want to be and stuff. This freedom of it, I like the idea of it. Do you think people get really stuck in that, who they think they should be? Yeah, I get all the time people commenting in a positive way. Yeah. Saying, I really like what you're wearing, or this is really interesting, or you don't get a lot of people in Wigan. Yeah. And I don't think it's true. I think there are loads of people, but maybe people aren't confident enough. Yes. When I first started wearing headscarves, for example, I was so super self-conscious that that it would not look good, and people don't care. People don't notice the stuff that makes me happy. People don't even. I don't know what it's like as much for men, but I will not wear the same outfit usually 2 days in a row because I'm worried that the other mums on the playground will say, she wore that outfit yesterday. But it is possible. They don't notice, and why would it matter if they did? And would they say something? And is it the end of the world? Even if they did, they'd probably be thinking, well, maybe I can get away with it next week. You know what I mean? Maybe I can. If she's doing it, maybe I can get away with it. You hype yourself up in your head. You worry about things that are not worth worrying about. I think that's one thing people who are afraid to express themselves, a lot of them get angry at people who do express themselves. Yeah. I find when I was younger, longer, black stuff and, I get a lot of aggravation and stuff, different, from certain groups of people. And then when they grew up a bit, they said, oh, I'm sorry about when I was young.
I was just confused. I was just angry. I was just, didn't understand you. And as soon as they sort of grew up a bit, learned about themselves, that's when they forgave themselves. What else do you think it can help do? Like, this. What if someone feels unhealthy when they express themselves? If that makes sense. Like, is it okay to have there's a thing called the shadow Jordan Peterson talks about, and like the anger, the darkness inside. Is it okay to feel that when expressing yourself in a controlled way?
I think so. As long as it's controlled, at least it's healthy and it's an output. It's better than keeping it inside, because that's never going to be healthy. And if you were really, really worried about that, then you need to speak to somebody.
Yes.
You need to, a health professional, or, I said there's online services now for saying that you're worried that you've got depression, or that you're worried that you've got these dark thoughts. Then there's people to speak to. There's always someone to speak to.
So this channel's about all of that, basically. Yeah.
But just get out there and express yourself in a healthy way. Yeah,
because I found when I started doing some of the martial arts, when I started doing writing, it wasn't always beautiful rainbows, and when I was writing, it was really dark, and it was a dark point in my life, and I was angry, upset, and I was writing, and it was this, that, and it got thoughts out of my head, and slowly, as I wrote down and got these emotions out, they become clearer, and clearer, and then I'd settle to sleep and stuff like that. It helped me when you had issues. Do you ever do that? Do you ever express yourself just to empty your mind?
Yeah. So when I do my really intricate doodles,
right?
I call them
doodles. Amazing.
I put on some music, and I just sit there, and it's as if the art is filling up my mind and my hands, and with the music in the background as well. It's almost meditative. It's nice to just shut off everything and keep going, and time can just pass. And if you listen to the right kind of music as well, it can really lift you up sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Jack Johnson.
Look at that. We'll get him on the show. We'll get him on the show. But I believe that. I think whether it's art, whether it's physical stuff, I've been in the gym and got in the zone, something I called, that's in the second book. There's music, you're in the zone again. There is that side of it. It gets all that tension out your body, it gets all this out your body, it doesn't always have to be happy, or it doesn't always have to be this or that. It doesn't even have to feel like you're there. You can just lose yourself in it, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is something I did.
I've painted stuff before that's looked really sad or really dark. I always get the children saying that what I'm doing looks like certain things.
Oh, that's good.
So they might say it looks like rain or a cave, but if I finish that piece and I'm happy to leave it, then I might just paint over it, and again, it's that movement on. I'm leaving it behind. I've let it out, and I don't have to keep it as part of my life anymore. I can turn it into something better.
Yeah.
I can reuse it.
Do you have to know the outcome before you start a piece?
No.
Excellent.
There's loads of times I've just completely changed my mind partway
Right, yeah, that's great. No,
that's sometimes, I've got a good idea of what I want, and sometimes I will do something in pencil first, but it'll be a real vague sectioning of a piece, and that's pretty much it. And I'll just freehand from there.
That's really cool. Yeah. So you've got your goals in mind. That's great. It's great for people to know. It helps you. You've talked about anxiety and being confident even when you're not confident. Really good. Expressing yourself. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Arctic lifestyles, or as you said before, it's okay to fail, or anyone struggling at home right now who don't know how to express themselves, who don't know what to do? What would you say to them who have said they're struggling?
I reach out. You can try and be creative, but even when I'm really sad, I suppose that's a hard one to get out of. Just reach out. There's always somebody there, even if it's not someone you know. There's always someone to talk to, and there's always someone to connect with, and there's always people that have gone through what you're going through. Yeah. As a mum, there's a lot of things on Mumsnet and Net Mums. These kind of group discussions with peers, and most of the time, most people are really supportive and helpful, and if you want to be creative, then you shouldn't put yourself down. You should just be who you want to be, which I know is easier said than done, but it doesn't have to be public. People don't have to see what you've created. If you're just doing it, like you say, for your journal, it's to get it out there and to release it, then just do that.
Yeah, excellent. No, really good. Yeah, so that's really good to know. What about, because obviously this page itself, you can connect with us and we'll try and help people, and my books have issues in them and stuff like that. Your artwork's really good. Is there anything you want to say on your pieces before we wrap up, or?
No, I mean, by all means, I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
Message me. I'd be very happy for anyone who wanted to chat or wanted any advice. Or I'm not an expert, but I'd be happily talking to anyone.
Right, okay. Right, that's the end of today's podcast, guys. I hope you enjoy yourselves. Thanks for commenting, sharing, liking. If you want Helen or, to do your piece, or Nelly to do your piece, let us know, and we'll get a message on Instagram, or you can message us and we'll contact her for you. Right, thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.